The topic that we are discussing, that is tort law. And under the tort law, in this video I will discuss the difference between tort law and criminal law. Okay, so tort law, as we know that it is civil wrong, but criminal law is a criminal offense. But how these two terms are related so that we can differentiate, because both the terms are two distinct things. So even we compare with something, then it must have something similar to that. We cannot compare a bird with a reptile, because both are two species, but of course we can compare two reptiles, two birds. Okay, so now first you need to understand somehow tort and criminal law are related. That's why we are differentiating these two terms. Okay, both are not exactly distinct if we talk about their differences, because you need to understand that there are certain acts that we have discussed while discussing the meaning and concept of tort, and of course subsequently we will keep on discussing throughout this whole topic, that is tort law, that is regarding the kinds of wrongful act, as we have discussed, or we will discuss of course in subsequent videos, that kinds of wrongful act, those are three acts, basically intentional tort, negligence and a strict liability. So forget about the negligence and strict liability, focus on the intentional tort. What does it mean? Intentional tort, that is under this category basically there are 7 types of intentional tort, that is battery and assault, false imprisonment, trespass to land, trespass to chattels, conversion, unlawful harassment and invasion of privacy. If we see, all these 7 are the criminal offense as well. The only difference of all these things between if it is considered under the tort law or under the criminal law. Okay, so and of course it is intentional, not negligent. All are intentional tort. So here we need to understand the major difference between tort law and criminal law, because both are so distinct, isn't it? In tort law, you are supposed to be getting the damages, but in criminal law, damages is the secondary aspect. The primary is punishment, imprisonment. Okay, so first we need to understand the difference between tort law and criminal law. So now let's check out the major differences between tort law and criminal law. I believe by the time you have overall understanding why we are differentiating between tort law and criminal law. Okay, there are certain intentional acts such as assault, battery, wrongful death, fraud, conversion, trespass on property that confuse us that whether it is tort or crime, as we have discussed. So the following differences will help you to differentiate between the tort and the crime. So first, primarily we will check based on the definition, what is the definition of a tort law and what is the definition of a criminal law. So here tort is a civil wrong which is independent of contract. So of course you need to understand that it is not a contract, though it is civil in nature, but parties are not bound by any agreement, and for which the remedy is an action of damages. We have discussed that in tort law the remedy is damages. So it is essentially civil wrong and damages is the remedy. Whereas crime is an act, commission or omission forbidden by state, and sanctions and punishments are the end result. Punishments are the end result. Focus on this. So it is criminal act which is legally forbidden by the punishments. So what is the thing that you should focus here on? That is commission or omission which is forbidden by the state. So forbidden by the law. So beating someone is forbidden by the law, and if you do that, you will be charged with an offense. Okay, so it is the law, it is the state that forbids to do something, not to do something. That is commission and omission. Okay, so next one is based on nature of wrong. So what type of wrong it is? Tort is private wrong that is against an individual. So if you negligently or intentionally harm someone, so you are harming an individual. Okay, but under the criminal law, that is, crime is invasion of public rights and duties affecting the whole society. So if you are killing someone or even assaulting someone or hitting someone, that is, if that is covered under the criminal act, then it is criminal offense and it comes under the public law, not the private law. So you did something wrong against the society at large. Okay, so that is nature of wrong. In tort case it is individual, but in this case society at large. Next one, based on types of courts. So where to file the case of tort law, where to file the case of criminal. So under this heading we will see where to file the case of tort and where to file the case of crime. So tort proceedings are held in civil courts and civil rules are applied. So here you need to focus on two aspects. That is, tort law is filed in a civil court and civil law is applied. On the other hand, criminal proceedings are held in criminal courts and criminal rules are applied. Okay. The next heading is based on remedy. What does it mean that in tort, remedy is the form of damages, maybe some amount of money, some sort of property, whatever it is. So it is in the form of some property including the cash, whereas in criminal law remedy is in the form of fine and punishment. Okay, so it could be either only fine or only punishment or both fine and punishment. Some other differences between tort law and criminal law. For tort, mens rea means guilty mind. You know that. What is meaning of mens rea? Is not essentially required. Only action is sufficient. So you did it, whether it did intentionally or negligently, that is sufficient. Your action is sufficient. So in tort law, mens rea has no importance. Whereas for crimes, mens rea, that is wrongful intention or guilty mind, is required along with the actus rea. That is action that you acted. Okay. So this is another difference. Next one is, in tort, the wrong may be intentional or unintentional, that is accidental. Whereas in crime, intention is very much important. Without intention, it is very much difficult to prove the guilty mind. Next one is, in tort, emphasis is given on compensation, whereas in crime emphasis is given on punishment. The last one, that is, in tort case, aggrieved party or on his or her behalf some other individual initiates the lawsuit. This is another important, you need to pay attention. I repeat, in tort case, aggrieved party or on his or her behalf some other individual initiates the lawsuit, whereas in criminal case a state initiates the legal proceedings. So tort, that is against the individual, whereas crime is against the state. So this is the difference, that very important, keep in mind always. So this is all for this video. We have understood what are the major differences between tort law and the criminal law. Okay, in next video we will see some new topic. So see you in next video.